You are listening to the UK Preppers Radio Network on KPRNDB UK. I'm your host, Tom Linden. I hope you're enjoying the show. Peter at Bug Grub is offering a 10% discount on all of his products. So here's the question, guys. Have you got the gonads? Can you walk the walk? I actually dare you to get some bug grub and eat it. Why not give it to the groom and the stag party? Why not give it to your students, instructors, so they get to taste edible bugs? They're all properly cooked. They of course come in sealed packaging, just like peanuts. And you know something? They taste a bit like pork scratching. So you need to use the code PREPPER at www.buggrub.com. and you will get your 10% discount. Go on, I dare you. Now the EOG Weatherproof 3-piece firelighting starting kit review. Now this has been, for me, one of the top products this year that I have reviewed. It's an amazing product. It does something that I don't think any other fire lighting product, with the exception of a gel, will do. The Epiphany Outdoor Gear, EOG, sent me the most incredible fire starting kit I've ever seen. In fact, I would say it's one of the best survival lighting products I have seen this year. While many of our competitors offer effective dry condition fire lighting kits or pocket bellows, Weatherproof Fire Starting Kit provides users with the tools necessary to start a fire in soaking wet conditions and at higher elevations. Since fire starting requires three things, an ignition source, fuel and oxygen, we developed the Pocket Bellows Weatherproof Fire Starting Kit around these requirements. These tools will give users peace of mind in weather which is wet and makes fire starting in dry conditions nearly idiot-proof. The Pocket Bellows Weatherproof Wet Dry Weather 3-piece fire starting kit weighs just 2 ounces and includes 1 inch by 5 inch heavy walled tube, water resistant carrying case, and the 3 pieces are the Easy Ignite, which is a ferrocerium rod with a magnesium core flint striking tool. It's a fail-proof ignition source that produces a shower of fiery hot embers in all conditions. The Baddest B, that's B-double-E, the Baddest B fire fuses, you get 8 in the pack, 100% organically waterproofed, easily ignitable, long-burning cotton tinder torches. When ignited with a flint striker match or lighter, fire fuses produce 3 to 5 inch fire starting flame for up to 5 minutes. And one of the amazing things itself, the V3 Pocket Bellows, it extends to 20 inches, collapses to 3.5, equally effective as the Pocket V2 Pocket Bellows, but with half the collapsible length as the V2. This bellowing tool, well, it comprises and focuses extra oxygen directly into the heart of the fire. The Pocket Bellows itself looks like a telescopic car aerial, completely hollow in the middle. The byproduct of this extra oxygen is a significant amount of extra heat, which is the key to overcoming wet firewood. You need to take a few precautions, by the way. The Pocket Bellows has the ability to create a 4-foot flame in seconds. To avoid injury, always keep a reasonable distance between you and the fire. Never position yourself downwind or above the fire while using the bellows, and remember that fire is dangerous and should be treated as such. These bellows are not toys, and they should only be used by supervised children or by individuals who have not been trained in fire safety. But don't inhale fire through the bellows. The tip of the bellows closest to the fire may be hot. Figure that one out. Just let it cool before collapsing it and touching it. Now some tips here: use the driest tinder and kindling available. Does that not make sense? The wetter the fuels to start a fire, the longer the fire takes to reach optimum burn temperatures. Look for dead and dry pine needles or cones that may be stuck hanging in trees or hiding under tree canopies, and if necessary, shake and pat dry materials found on the ground. Like most worthy survival techniques, the basis of Cole's wet weather fire starting technique requires practice to get a feel for how fire reacts to additional oxygen. Be sure to watch their detailed instructional videos a few times and practice bellowing a fire when you have the opportunity to start a fire. You will not believe what they do. They literally soak wood in a bucket full of water, take it out, and use the 3 products to start a fire with sodden, waterlogged wood. After mastering dry fuel ignition, practice wet fuels by intentionally dampening fuels and bellowing these damper fuels. You heard that correct. What a brilliant idea, living here in the UK when we get mostly rain, and even more rain. Imagine being able to start a fire with wet wood. I mean, you wouldn't if you didn't have to, but the point is, you can. Now, when starting a fire with a pocket bellows, you use very light exhale breaths until you see the glowing heart begin to glow with each exhale. And then what you need to do, having watched the video, you will see you slowly increase the length and the strength of your exhales. When the glowing heart is the size of your fist, you should begin strong exhales. It's really just like riding a bike, you know. Once you've done it, you'll never forget the glowing heart. And this is the secret of the pocket bellows system. So you really do need to practice, and you really do need to watch the videos first. Now take care not to mistreat your bellows. The bellows are designed as a precision collapsible tool, and they will break if mistreated. Take care to clean dust and dirt from the bellows before collapsing to keep the bellows clean and sliding in good working order. The bellows is not a fire poker, and it should be kept at least 6 inches from a fire's flame. If you use it as a poker, you're simply going to warp them, and it'll really prevent the internal slide mechanism from working. So what are the benefits of the EOG? Well, unlike other fire starting kits that leave you high and dry in wet conditions, our award-winning multiple market unique fire starting gear provides you with the tools to overcome the most difficult of fire starting environments. The V3 pocket bellows, oxygen is nature's gasoline and is the key to wet weather fire starting. Our lightweight collapsible bellows tool, the pocket bellows compresses and focuses oxygen directly into the heart of the fire. The byproduct of this extra oxygen is extra heat, which is the key to starting a fire with soaking wet wood or fuels in wet conditions. The baddest bee fire fuses, which are hexamin and petroleum free, by the way, 100% organically waterproofed, highly ignitable, long burning cotton tinder torches when ignited with a match, a lighter, or the smallest of sparks from a striking tool. Baddest bee fire fuses produce a strong, breeze proof fire starting flame in the most difficult of fire starting conditions or environments. It's literally beeswax, guys. It's a fantastic product. The EZ Ignite magnesium embedded ferrocerium striking tool is a fail proof ignition source that produces a shower of fiery hot sparks in all weather conditions. Couple this with the baddest bee fire fuses, Easy Ignite will produce a flame with one strike every single time. It also works great on dry forest tinders too. Well, my friends, that is the technical stuff out of the way. But you know, do they work in the real world? Well, there's only one way to find out. Firstly, I keep saying this, but you must watch the video on how this fire lighting system works, as it is the only real way to understand how they all work together. The system is totally amazing in how it produces fire, and not just a flame either, but a roaring fire. The video shows it lighting a fire with wet fuel. So, could I do that too? I went out one rainy day, collected my tinder and firewood, and back in my garden I immersed it in a bucket of water. You know, just to make sure it was wet. Now, I found this very difficult to get my head around. I mean, lighting a fire with wet material that was built into a TP shape already. It took me 3 attempts to understand how to use the bellows and produce an aggressive fire. Indeed, being on the wind-swept hills, a wet valley, or even on a wind and rain-lashed beach, and knowing that you could start a fire without dry material, well, it's a completely new survival concept, isn't it? A new survival fire lighting method that will not only make your life easier, it could save lives too. It's absolutely amazing. Well, I was amazed, and I still am, when I use it to start a fire. And you know you will be too. So why not go to www.pocketbellows.com and order a set. You will not regret it. Tools and supplies to help you survive. Survival gear essentially breaks down into 2 groups, home and bug out. Though the tools and supplies will differ in type, quantity and size for surviving in place versus on the move, they all must satisfy your basic needs for survival. I think that's really common sense. In addition to the emergency food, water, knives, weapons and various kits that should be part of every survivalist's arsenal, you should not get caught without emergency lighting, whether that's lanterns or flashlights, heaters, whether it's a pocket heater or kerosene or propane, sewing, that's needles and thread, toiletries, don't forget the toilet roll, the #1 survival aid, communications, whether it's an emergency radio, mobile phone or walkie-talkies, clothing of course, all season, shelter and bedding, whether it's tents and sleeping bags, cleaning products, medical and dental care, don't forget money, by the way, cash, gold, silver, various barter items like booze, cigarettes and ammo, maybe not ammo by the way, but survival tools and what to avoid. There are many survival tools on the market. For instance, many veterans swear by the P38 can opener. While simple, compact tools like this have their merits. I tend to favour tools that, serve multiple purposes. They should be as simple as possible. Not that the P38 could get any simpler, by the way, but it's less to go wrong in an emergency. I also stay away from survival gear that requires electricity or batteries as much as possible. It's often far easier to fix a mechanical problem in the field versus an electrical one. Multi-tool, the best survival tool ever. In my opinion, the single most important piece of survival gear you can own is the humble multi-tool. Pre-you-know-what hitting the fan and post-you-know-what hitting the fan. I like multi-tools for their what-if factor. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of different applications for the gadgets on a compact multi-tool. They're also a great addition to any bug-out bag or EDC. At a multi-tool's heart is a useful combination set of pliers, wrench, wire cutter. I own several models and like the larger versions that fit well in my hand. The larger models have more room for additional implements and, I think otherwise things that you might not think to pack. A wood saw, metal file, fish scaler, ruler, scissors and a blade. The larger the multi-tool, the larger the knife blade, although I found that using the blade can be a bit cumbersome with the large handle. It's better than nothing, of course, but this should not be your primary survival knife if you can avoid it. Compact multi-tools can be better for delicate work and are lighter and easier to carry than their larger counterparts. However, the tools included are necessarily smaller and prone to breakage in rough survival applications. Still, because a multi-tool has the potential to solve countless problems, I believe it's an absolutely essential piece of survival gear. So get one or two, one for your bug out bag and one for your EDC.